What's all the beeping?
What?
There's like 3 beeps. Hello. Let's see.
Welcome to Drunk Doctor Who, Heroes and Villains. This is...
We're doing it. That's it.
Yep, this is the 49th episode of Heroes and Villains.
The thing.
The 5th Doctor.
We're doing the podcast
Peter
thing.
Davison, yes.
Davison.
I'm Hatter, this is Holden.
That's me. That's my name.
I am drinking Crown Royal. Ooh. It was on sale. And what are you drinking? Twisted tea?
Chocolate milk.
That's not chocolate milk.
Pepsi?
No.
Mud water. Twisted tea.
Cheers, man.
The variety pack. This one's peach.
Well, here's to 50 episodes of Heroes and Villains.
Villain. No, not till next week.
Well, in a few minutes. All right. So we're doing catch up in between the 6th and 7th Doctor, and so we're also catching up on some of our Heroes and Villains. So we watched tonight. We just watched it. Okay, Top Secret.
Top Secret.
The movie.
Val Kilmer.
What'd you think?
Very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed a lot of clips of Top Secret popping up on YouTube. That didn't click for me until we started watching it. I was like, I saw this on like a YouTube short.
It's a meme.
I guess
it's a meme.
It got popular again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good movie.
And we have 2 Doctor Who connections from Top Secret. One is Peter Cushing, who is the Swedish bookstore owner. He played the Doctor in the 2 movies.
Big guy.
Mm-hmm. And the other one was the Torch. He played the really imperious bored man in the one with the snakes. Going back to the 5th Doctor.
Is that the one with like were they on an airplane? These snakes?
No, not snakes on a plane. No, we're talking about
Was it like the Sutek one?
Snake Dance.
Snake Dance.
Yeah, Snake Dance.
Oh, with the tattoo?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's our Doctor Who connections to Top Secret. Anyway, so 5th Doctor.
Davison.
Davison had to take over from the 4th Doctor, Tom Baker, and he leads, of course, into Colin Baker, the 6th Doctor. Now, interesting note.
I think there's another D in Davison.
No.
Davidson?
No. Let me show you. Davison. Davison.
Didn't you type that though?
Yes, I typed it correctly. Flip it over.
Oh yeah, here it is. Davison.
Thank you very much. Alright, anyway, so Davison had, he is not only, he's not only the Doctor, he is the father-in-law to a Doctor.
He played in the show.
He's the 5th Doctor.
Right.
His daughter.
Married
David Tennant, the 10th Doctor.
Oh.
So he is literally the 5th Doctor, and his son-in-law is the 10th Doctor.
Right.
So someday,
gotta keep it in the family.
Yeah. There's only so many people in Britain. Right. So someday, the kid from Davison and Tennant, Davison's daughter and Tennant, someday that kid is gonna go in to be the Doctor, and they're gonna be like, so what are your qualifications? My father was a 10th Doctor. My grandfather was the 5th Doctor. Mm-hmm. You're hired.
Sure worked.
Yeah. All right. So the 3rd Doctor, the 5th Doctor had 3 seasons.
Not many.
Well, that's the average for a Doctor is 3 seasons. Remember, Troughton had 3 seasons. Hartnell had 3 seasons. The ones that break the mold are.
Was this when they started putting less episodes in the seasons?
During his tenure, no, it's during the next Doctor, Colin Baker, which we may do next week. But yeah, it's during Colin Baker is when they go from like 20-something episodes a season down to 14.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, his first season was 14 or something like that, hour-long episodes. And then they cut it down to 14 half-hour episodes for a second season. But Tom Baker had 7 seasons, and Pertwee had 5, but they're very much the exception. Your average Doctor is 3 seasons.
How do you keep all this straight in your head?
I just do.
Is there another subject that you're as well versed in as Doctor Who?
Politics.
Politics?
Yeah. That's the other one that I really, really, really pay attention to is world events and politics and stuff.
Do you think you know as much about The Simpsons as you do Doctor Who? Or you follow Doctor Who more closely?
The Simpsons being usually one-shot, episodic, does not lend towards overarching stories and stuff the way Doctor Who does.
Oh.
But
well, there's a whole bunch of trivia.
True.
Like I watched this hour-long documentary on their cartoonist's handbook, like the rules of the Simpsons characters. Yeah.
All right.
It's fun.
Okay, so Davison had 3 seasons, 20, 21, and 22.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry.
The show's legal. You can drink.
19, 20, and 21. 19, 20, 21. So Annie had the 5 Doctor special.
Yeah.
Now, I think, what was we voted the best serial of all of it?
Of Davison?
Yeah, was it the 5 Doctors?
Baker.
I mean, some of his classics are Caves of Andronazi, Earthshock, the 5 Doctors.
That's,
I think we went
the
with
5 Doctors.
5 Doctors, yeah. We kind of eschewed the common one of Caves of Andronazi, and I think we went with 5 Doctors, yeah. What other of his stories did you really like?
Modern Undead.
Yep. Modern Undead was good. He had so many different serials where everyone dies. Just flat out.
Really dark stuff.
Yeah, he was a super pacifist like Doctor.
Definitely.
But everything around him was just so deadly because the show got pushed past the watershed. We talked about that into the evening. And we were a children's show to a family show, and so they decided, let's just have death. And they had so much of it.
And undead.
Yes, with Modern Undead. All right. Anyway, like him as a Doctor, we see him again. Okay. So the 5th, 6th, and 7th Doctors during the 50th anniversary have a little side special.
Oh, that's
It's not part of the main special. It's a bit of a side special. It's not about the characters. It's actually about the actors.
Oh.
So it's like the 5 Doctors revisited, and it has them, the 8th Doctor, and just an absolute smidge of Tom Baker. So they're not in the main show, but they've got a little side dealie.
They're just like hanging out, doing a podcast? Or...
They're hanging out trying to get on the show.
Oh, it's like their audition tapes?
No. It's a little side deal where they're trying to be in the 50th anniversary special, but it's the actors trying to be in the special off to the side.
Okay.
It's funny.
It's a little...
That's the next time we see him. Well, besides the 30th anniversary special, we see him in the 30th, along with the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th Doctors. We see him in the 30th, and then we see him in the 50th as that little side deal, not part of the main special, but it's just a little side deal. And then we see him again in Power of the Doctor.
Oh.
Which basically I'm considering the 60th anniversary special. So we see him again at the 30th, an aside on the 50th, and we see him for the 60th, essentially.
It's Power of the Doctor like Power of the Daleks?
It's a play on that.
Ah.
Yeah.
Davison was a popular doctor. People seem to like him, right?
They do. His only problem was he had to come on the heels of Tom Baker. And Tom Baker was the most popular, at least here in America, of the classic doctors. But he was still really popular.
Who was most popular over there?
I don't know. I don't live in the UK. I live in America.
You ever talk to British people on your... what's
Digital
that form?
Spy?
Digital Spy.
Yeah, I do. And for some of them, it depends on the age. If they're old enough, Pertwee was a big one.
Yeah, he was like the James Bond doctor with
the Venusian Aikido and stuff. Yeah. Hey, nothing wrong with the Who-mobile or Bessie.
Yeah, it was great.
But yeah, Tom Baker was very much super popular over here. Now, once again, Davison was pretty good and popular, and his run is pretty good. But it starts to fall apart with Colin, you know?
Yeah.
When they were trying to kill the show.
Didn't they come out with Magic the Gathering Doctor Who
Matter
sets?
Well, Commander Dex, yeah.
Yeah. Do they have the doctors? Does Davison have his own card?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Neat.
They have one deck for the classic Doctors, 1 through 8.
Oh.
They have a second deck for...
So it's like a 5-color deck with all the...
3 or 4.
Cool.
I think it's 3 colors. They have a second deck for the modern Doctors, 9 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they have a deck for Whittaker, because she was the Doctor when it came out. Or... No, she wasn't. She was not the Doctor at that time, because it came out last year, and she regenerates on New Year's Day of last year. So it was already back to 14, Tennant, who was married to the daughter of the 5th Doctor. But she was the most recent full incarnation of the Doctor. And then they have one deck for the bad guys.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Master,
Daleks and Master and stuff like that. Cybermen. Yeah.
Are they good? Do you like those decks?
I haven't played with them. Yeah. Alright, so do you have any questions about Davison? Or any favorite cereals of his besides what we've already mentioned? Or
does he wear the celery for the gas fumes?
Yeah, he puts it on in one of his first or second cereal, like one of his first episodes. And it comes into play once or twice. But that's it.
So why are they always changing the lapel pins? Like you have
each Doctor has his own look.
But it doesn't really seem to have anything to do with like their new personality or their...
Generally speaking, no. Except, well, I mean,
just like a random...
Wait. Yes, it does. Their outfits have a lot to say about their personality. That's why they choose their outfits.
Like one has a cat.
Yeah, that would be Colin Baker. Yeah.
He doesn't seem like a cat person to me.
Nah. We'll get to Colin Baker in a week or two.
Davison does seem like a celery person, though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Really sums up his personality. He's like a celery stick in a sweater vest.
Jeez. Oh, man. Anyway, Davison, if you're watching this podcast and you want to, we cordially invite you onto the show. We would gladly have any former Doctor here on the podcast.
I'll personally bring you a stick of celery.
That sounds
I'll
awesome.
bring extra for the Bloody Marys.
Okay, let's see. And I'm trying to remember if we see him in any of the third-party stuff. Colin Baker shows up a lot.
Yeah?
But I don't... He may, but I don't remember Davison in any of it.
Are there a lot of Doctors in the third-party stuff?
There's a few.
There's a few.
Yeah.
Baker liked doing that stuff. Did they pay him to do that?
Yeah, he's in The Stranger. is the stuff he's in.
Or he just volunteers for it?
For that, I think they're paid.
Oh, neat.
Maybe not a lot, but they're paid. The 30th anniversary, everyone donated their time.
Ah.
It was Children in Need special.
Is that's different from the Save the Doctor special?
With the Doctor in Distress, yeah.
Doctor in Distress.
All right.
You heard it here first.
All right. We will see you in just a couple minutes.
Next week.
For this super duper crazy short episode for the 5th Doctor, which is sad because he had a lot of good stories.
He did. It's almost too much to cover. And it's been a little while since we've
covered a Doctor. Yeah, it's been a while since the 4th Doctor.
We went over some of his greatest hits.
Yeah. Let's see.
Did you have a least favorite Davison episode?
Ooh, interesting question.
I think he took a little bit of time to grow on you. So he had kind of a rough introduction. Some of his first episodes.
Actually, yeah. Legopolis, I did not really care for. Where they're running around and the city is all the weird twisty turny and
Locopolis.
Yeah, and he's in the box half of it. And not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Not a big fan. What about you?
One of those first few, probably Legopolis, because he's a newer Doctor, and you're trying to get to know him, and then he's not around much.
Yeah, like I said, he spends half the time in that box. Oh, Enlightenment is another really good one of his.
That was good.
I do like Enlightenment, yeah, a lot. Cool. And of course, Earthshock. And Caves of Andronazi. Yeah.
Good serials. Good run.
Yeah, it was.
What do you think did they get paid residuals? I imagine.
I know some of the writers retain the rights to their creations, like Terry Nation created the Daleks, and he retained the rights to them, and any time that they bring the Daleks back on the show, they have to pay his estate now. He's passed away. His estate, some sort of residuals or royalties, but I don't think the actors do. But then again,
that's a bummer.
I honestly don't know. I don't know. They might get something. I don't know how the BBC works with that.
I feel like the BBC is pretty cheap. I imagine they don't. I imagine they pay out as little as they can.
Well, probably. But back in the day, I mean, by the time of Davison, it was the 80s, and we had VCRs and stuff like that, and eventually Laserdiscs and DVDs and Blu-rays. Yeah. But back in the original 60s era of the show, video cassettes existed, but they were almost unheard of. They were only for the super rich. So they didn't write in, I don't believe, the stuff about reruns and things. They just didn't show them, you know? That's why they junked so many of the classic episodes.
Yeah. Really scrapped a lot. They just thought no one is ever going to want to watch this again, and they just threw it out.
Yep. All right, for Doctor Who news, like we watched the Underwater Menace last week.
Yeah.
Tonight we watched a movie because we've got a lot of heroes and villains to clear up. Next week we'll probably cover the Daleks and do some more heroes. No,
we haven't done the Daleks yet.
The colorized and cut down version. Yeah.
I thought you
that
were
one.
for heroes and villains.
No. The colorized and cut down version of the Daleks. Where did I put it? Up there. Which we'll cover, and that didn't even make Apocrypha, but we'll do more heroes and villains, and then...
What does that mean? It's even less canon?
Well, no, it's canon, but it's a cut down version of canon. It's like a greatest hits version of a group's, repertoire.
What do you mean by it doesn't meet Apocrypha?
The Apocrypha is third-party stuff.
Oh.
This isn't third party, this is BBC.
Right.
Oh, remember I was talking about our first Apocrypha episode would be Wartime Chronicles? It's not, because I was looking the other day, and the two movies, the Peter Cushing movies,
Those are
our first 2 Apocrypha episodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did record those, and we did put those in
I forgot
solely as placeholders. We'd already gone over the same things twice already.
Yeah, we did.
So we just put them in as placeholders for Apocrypha, and Wartime Chronicles will be our 3rd.
Now we'll have a whole series in that playlist.
But anyway, we'll probably do Daleks next week, then another movie probably, then the Wartime Chronicles, and maybe another movie, and then we'll get to the 7th Doctor.
7th Doctor.
Yeah. In the meantime, we're going to be clearing off a whole bunch of heroes and villains, which we've been working on.
That one looked cool.
Yep, one at the top, Sylvester McCoy. Radagast the Brown.
It does look like him, doesn't it?
No, he plays Radagast the Brown in the Hobbit movies.
Yeah, but you can kind of see it even then, like in his face.
Yeah.
Same job. It looks like he aged
He did.
to 70 in his 30s, and then he just stayed that way. He just stayed at
I have no idea how old he is there.
65-year-old looking man.
I have no idea how old he is there, but if that's from Doctor Who, that's from the 80s.
I think that's exactly what he looked like when he came out of the womb.
Late 80s. And then he plays Radagast the Brown in the, 2010s?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 30 years onward. And he makes a note of that in the side special he's in for the 50th anniversary.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he's like, yes, I have a phone call. You know, I've been in this movie, The Hobbit. You may have heard of it. And between him and Colin Baker and Davison, the 3 main doctors in that, he's the one with who had a
big time gig.
A big time gig at the time. So he keeps playing into that, and it's funny.
It's funny. Did you like the Hobbit movies?
Not as much as Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings was perfect. The Hobbit movies, they should have done one 3-hour movie.
Honestly,
yeah.
That would have been so much, but they really just tried to milk it too hard.
Yeah, they didn't need the extra female elf thing. They started going a little woke with that. Well, we gotta have a female hero. Yeah, they didn't need the dwarf elf. They didn't need the dwarf elf love story or whatever. Yeah, and
that was weird.
That was weird, and they just padded it out way too much. The first episode was really good, the first of the 3 movies, but they should have just made one big movie, made about 3 hours, and been done with it. And they could have trimmed out so much junk, and it did not need to be 3 movies.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I agree. But that would have made less money.
Who knows?
Well, we'll see you next week when we talk about Perpigillium Brown.
See you in a few minutes.
Who's mostly Davidson.
All right. Bye-bye.